Hello, friends. Once again, there are news reports from China about the spread of a dangerous virus. Over the past few days, many videos have gone viral on social media showing a large number of patients in Chinese hospitals having flu like symptoms. Chinese hospitals are also reportedly overwhelmed with patients, and people are now fearful of another global pandemic. So, is HMPV virus the biggest concern right now? Will this be a sequel to COVID 19? Well, let's explore in this video and find out. So let's first understand the definition as to what exactly is HMPV. The virus in question is called HMPV, which stands for Human Metapneumovirus. According to the Global Times, the cases are currently being reported in several regions of China, including Beijing, Chongqing, and Guangdong. However, it's important to note that HMPV is not a new virus. It was first discovered back in 2001, long before COVID 19 emerged in 2019. So, while COVID 19 is believed to have spread from bats, HMPV originally originated in birds hundreds of years ago and has since evolved to infect humans. Interestingly, HMPV has been around for years, circulating annually like the common cold or flu. Most people who get infected with HMPV may not even realize it, as its symptoms are very similar to those of the common cold. That is, a fever, coughing, blocked nose, and mild difficulty in breathing. In most cases, the infection resolves itself within a few days and requires no special treatment. So, how does it spread? So, HMPV spreads in the same way that the common cold or a flu does. That is through droplets released when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It can also spread by touching surfaces contaminated by droplets from an infected person. This is why it's very important to maintain good hygiene and also avoid a close contact with the sick individuals. These precautions are essential to preventing this infection. So, who is at the most risk? So, while HMPV usually results in mild symptoms, certain groups are more vulnerable to severe complications such as pneumonia and a fever. So, infants, especially those under the age of 1 year old, and also the older adults, particularly those with compromised immune response systems or having pre-existing respiratory conditions, are at greater risk of this virus. For these individuals, the infection can be more serious. So, what's the global situation as far as this virus is concerned? So, reports about the recent surge of HMPV cases in China have indeed sparked fear, especially in India. However, experts are downplaying the risk. The WHO, World Health Organization, has not declared HMPV a global health emergency yet, and there are no signs of any new dangerous mutations as well. China has already acknowledged an increase in respiratory infections, but the scale of the outbreak is not extraordinary. This is simply part of a regular flu season, which many countries experience in the winter months. Despite the media hype, the situation in China is not as dire as it may appear. In fact, the number of HMPV cases reported this year is lower than that which was reported during the previous flu season. So, what are the precautions to protect yourself? Follow these simple steps. First one is to maintain physical distance from anyone having flu-like symptoms. Second is to always cover your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing, preferably with a handkerchief or your elbow. Third one is to always wash your hands regularly in order to reduce the risk of infection. And the fourth one is wearing mask in public places, especially if you are feeling unwell. So let's see the treatment and risks. For most healthy individuals, the treatment of HMPV is the same as that for the common cold, that is rest, hydration, and also staying at home. In severe cases, however, such as in those with weakened immune systems, hospitalization may be required. Regarding its severity, the death rate from HMPV is very low. According to WHO and various studies, while it can be fatal for infants under 6 months of age, most people recover without any issues. The risk of death is also far lower than with diseases like COVID 19 or even influenza. Now, let's discuss how the media plays a key role in spreading panic. So, Indian media, which is always keen on declaring everything as breaking news, has also sensationalized the recent reports of HMPV in China, leading to an unnecessary public panic. Although individual cases have been reported in India, they are not linked to international travel, which further confirms that HMPV is not a new threat. WHO's former chief scientist, Soumya Swaminathan, has emphasized that HMPV has been circulating in India for years, but it wasn't widely discussed until now. There is no reason to believe that the virus poses a significant new threat, especially since immunity to it is common in children. So you might be wondering that if this virus isn't a dangerous virus, then why there's so much panic in China? So the heightened attention around HMPV in China can be partly attributed to the country's strict zero COVID policy. For years, Chinese citizens were largely shielded from respiratory illnesses due to lockdown measures. Now that the country has reopened, there is a sudden surge in infections, not just from COVID 19, but from other viruses, including HMPV. Experts also attribute this to a weakened immune response, particularly in population, due to a limited exposure to pathogens during the lockdown years. So, what's the conclusion? Well, it's that we shouldn't panic. The bottom line is that the fear surrounding HMPV is largely exaggerated. This virus is not a new or is not a new one or dangerous threat like COVID-19. It's a seasonal virus that has been circulating for years. The actual death rate from HMPV is extremely low. And while vulnerable populations should take extra precautions, most people will recover with basic care. Instead of getting caught up in the media panic, it's important to focus on practical hygiene measures, as we mentioned in the video, and also remember that there are more pressing issues which we need to discuss, such as protecting your voting rights and also ensuring election integrity. So that these two points are very much important in today's scenario. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you found value from this video and from our insights.